Hey there, I'm Lance and this is Love to Hate, where we help gamers find great games to play with non-gamers. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to play the 1 or 2 player game New Kingdom Sowers from New Kingdom Gaming. New Kingdom Sowers is coming to crowdfunding, so make sure to check out that link down below in the description of this video to check out all the details on this one on the campaign page. Now what I have here is a prototype, and what that means is the final artwork and components and maybe even some of the rules might change once this game is released from crowdfunding. Again, check out the campaign link down below in the description of this video. I do want to thank New Kingdom Gaming for sending me this prototype to use for this video, as well as sponsoring this video. New Kingdom Sowers is inspired by the parable found in Matthew in the Bible, in which Jesus talks about the 4 different soils, or 4 different types of people who are ready to receive the gospel, or maybe not ready to receive the gospel. In this game, you and maybe one other player will be playing as either Priscilla or Aquila from the Bible, trying to play your black seed cards onto the good soil in a certain order, 1 through 10. The player who's able to do that first is going to be the winner. For setting up for a 2-player game, place the game board in the middle of the playing area between the 2 players. Separate the Priscilla and Aquila decks, giving one player the Priscilla deck and the other player the Aquila deck. Shuffle each deck and then draw 4 cards off the top of the deck to make up your hand. Make sure to give each player one of the 2-sided player aids. Now you're ready to begin the game. A turn in New Kingdom Sowers is very simple. There are 3 steps. The first step is to draw a card off the top of your deck, adding it to your hand. Now if you have no more cards remaining in your deck, you immediately lose the game. So make sure you're wisely managing your seed cards. The second step to a turn is to play any card from your hand to one of the 4 spots on the board. We'll cover what those 4 spots are here in just a second. The third and final step to a turn is to count how many cards you have in your hand. If you have more than 7, you'll need to discard only yellow seed cards to the path until you have no more than 7. Now, as I said, there are 4 spots on the board for where you can play a card from your hand as the second step on your turn. There are 2 spots for yellow cards and 2 spots for black cards. We'll cover each of the 4 spots, starting with the path. The first place you could play a card to is the path. Now note that the path is shared by both players and the cards that are played to the path are face down. In addition to this, you can only play yellow seed cards to the path. So in this case, only my yellow 10 seed card could be played to the path. Play that card face down, draw 1 card off the top of your deck, and in addition to this, you can optionally choose to take the top card off of the rocky soil, even if it's not a card that matches your hand, or take any card that you've previously placed into the thorny soil. The second type of soil that you could play on is the rocky soil. Just like the path, the rocky soil is shared by both players. And when playing on the rocky soil, you must play one of your yellow seed cards. In addition to that, you must play lower than what is ever on top of the rocky soil. So in this case, 6 is the card that is on top of the rocky soil. I could not play this yellow 8 seed card, nor could I play this yellow 6 seed card, but I could play this yellow 3 seed card. When you play on top of the rocky soil, you draw 2 cards off the top of your deck. With any card that's in your hand, you play 1 card to any of the other 3 soil options. Do note that when you are playing to the good soil in this instance, you're only allowed to play 1 card. So you could not play a run of cards, you could only play 1 card to the good soil. At the end of a turn in which someone played into the rocky soil, check to see if there are 4 or more cards in the rocky soil. If there are, discard all of those cards face down to the path. The third type of soil you could play to is the Thorny soil. Now, only black seed cards can be played into the Thorny soil, and each player has their own separate pile for the Thorny soil. When you play to the Thorny soil, select any black seed card, play it onto your specific pile, and then draw 3 cards off the top of your deck. Add them to your current hand and select any 4 cards from your hand. You can take those cards and place them in any manner you wish, either on top of your pile or on the bottom of your draw pile. You can even split up your hand however you choose, placing cards on top or cards on bottom. It's your choice. Do note that if you only have 1 card in your hand and you play that to the Thorny soil, you will automatically lose, as you will only draw 3 cards off the top of your deck, and you are required to put back 4 cards either on top of your deck or on the bottom of your deck. And since you won't have 4 cards to put back, you will lose the game because you cannot fulfill the full action. The fourth and final place that you can play a card to is the good soil. And this is ultimately what you want to be doing throughout the course of the game. Just like the Thorny soil, you can only play black seed cards into the good soil, and each player has their own separate space to keep track of their good soil black seed cards. When playing to the good soil, you must play a black seed card, and it must be the lowest one that is next to be played. The very first card to be played, when you have none there, has to be the number 1 black seed card. Take that card, play it into the good soil, and your turn is over. Now, if you do have a consecutive run of black seed cards, which in this case I do, having a 1 and 2, you can play them together all at the same time. Keep in mind this is different from when you took the rocky soil action, playing your second card to the good soil, in that that card can only be 1 card. You could not play consecutive runs. But when your first turn is to play straight into the good soil, you can play consecutive runs. Now, it's important to note that if you aren't able to fulfill the full action of the action that you're doing, then you can't take that action. And if that means you have no valid options available to you on your turn, then you lose the game. And this can happen if you have no cards in your hand at the end of your turn, and at the beginning of your next turn, you draw 1 card, meaning you only have the 1 card in your hand, and there's not a valid spot for you to play that card on the board. Then you lose. Now that we've covered all the 4 actions you could do on your turn, it's a good time to go back to the last thing you do on your turn, which is to discard yellow seed cards from your hand until you have 7 cards. In this instance, I have 9 cards, and so I will have to discard a yellow seed card. So I'll get rid of this 8. You discard it face down to the path. Now, unfortunately, in this case, I still have 8 cards, which is 1 too many, but I don't have any yellow seed cards. I will have to discard a card though, and in this case, because I only have black seed cards, and I have to discard a card, I will automatically lose the game at this point, because discarding a black seed card means you cannot get it into your good soil pile, which means you'll lose the game. Now, if you just played your 10th black seed card into the good soil, then you win the game. Unless you're the first player, in which case the second player gets 1 last turn to try and play their 10th black seed card into the good soil. If they're able to do that, then the game is tied, and the tiebreaker is whoever has the most remaining yellow seed cards still in their draw pile. Not in your hand, only the draw pile. The player who has the most is the winner. And that's how you play New Kingdom Sowers, or at least the multiplayer version. Now we're going to learn how to play the solo version. To set up a solo version of New Kingdom Sowers, give yourself one of the decks, shuffling it up, and drawing 4 off the top just like you would in a 2-player game. The other deck will be used for the AI player. Separate the yellow seed cards from the black seed cards. Shuffle the yellow seed cards face down into a pile and arrange the black seed cards numbered 1 through 10 with 1 on top and 10 on the bottom. Now you're ready to begin. You start the game as the first player in the solo mode, and your turn is the same as it is in a 2-player game. For the AI turns, turn over the top card of its yellow seed card deck and play it on top of the rocky soil. It doesn't matter what number is on this card because the AI is not bound to play a lower numbered card than whatever was on top of the rocky soil. So whatever the number is, put it on top of the rocky soil. Next, take the top black seed card and place it into the AI's good soil pile. Note that this means the AI will get 10 turns to win the game. Now, if you just played your 10th black seed card into the good soil, then congratulations, you win immediately. The AI does not get another turn to try and tie the game. If instead at the end of 10 turns you've not been able to do that, then the AI will win the game because the AI will have played all 10 of its black seed cards into the good soil. Now, if you are able to beat the AI, at the back of the rule book, there are some solo challenges for you to try out, which spice up the difficulty level of this game. I'll leave you to discover those on your own, but again, check out the campaign page link down below in the description of this video to get all the details on that. And there you go. That's all you need to know in order to play the solo mode. So now that you know the solo mode and the 2-player version, you know everything there is to know about new Kingdom Sowers. If you do have any questions, make sure to leave them down below in the comments section, and I'll be happy to get to them when I get a chance. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified of all of our great new content. I'm Lance, and this is Love to Hate, where we help gamers find great games to play with non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.